How about the brothers showing love?
Look at that. That is an awesome shot.
On July 20th, 2021, something happened that we previously thought wouldn't ever happen in the NBA. Three guys from Greece became the first trio of brothers to win an NBA championship. And they did it in back-to-back years. Kostas Antetokounmpo won a ring with the Los Angeles Lakers in 2020, and just 9 months later, Thanasis and two-time league MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo became brother champions as teammates when the Bucks defeated the Suns in the 2021 NBA Finals. How in the world did this even happen? In a league where the odds of winning a championship for even two players of the same family is slim to none, three of the Antetokounmpo brothers just rewrote history. I wouldn't be surprised at the slightest if something like this never happens again. It's just that rare. We all know that even getting to play against your brother in the NBA is a dream come true. For Giannis and Thanasis, they won the championship together and got to share an unforgettable moment. As two kids that grew up watching basketball from Greece, I'm sure they couldn't even fathom playing on the same NBA team, let alone reaching and winning the NBA Finals. Now that's a dream come true. So what led to all of this? Giannis rightfully gets a huge chunk of the attention for what he's accomplished. He was always freakishly athletic and does something on the court every few nights that makes our jaws drop. But no one saw this coming from the third oldest brother. Especially as a kid who couldn't even speak English just a few seasons ago and was slimmer than even a pre-NBA Steph Curry. To win 2 MVP awards before the age of 26, something only LeBron and Kareem have done, is just mind-blowing to think about. All these moments, the high-flying showmanship, defensive stops have paved the way for the younger brother to make a splash in the NBA. And while none of them are, understandably, not nearly as gifted as Giannis, it's a family full of athletes who can all play. Thanasis is the most recognized Antetokounmpo after Giannis. He's 2 years older and moved to the US with Giannis. Thanasis didn't get a long opportunity to showcase himself in the NBA. In fact, he was drafted in 2014 and went 51st overall to the New York Knicks. But he didn't see any NBA action right away. In fact, he made his NBA debut over a year and a half later when the Knicks decided to sign him to a 10-day deal. But that stint didn't last much longer than just a few games, so Thanasis went back to Greece to play overseas and continue to build his profile internationally, hopefully to get another shot in the NBA. And he got that shot after 3 productive years overseas and a whole lot of hard work. An opportunity to play alongside his younger brother, Giannis. Giannis had already won an MVP and had blossomed into one of the very best players in the world. It was a promising sight to see the two brothers from Athens sport the same uniform and represent Athens. But hold on just a second. Just a few months before Thanasis signed with Milwaukee, another Antetokounmpo took the NBA stage, and we forgot to mention, his name was Kostas Antetokounmpo. Kostas made his NBA debut for the Dallas Mavericks in March of 2019, but he signed the next offseason with the Lakers, which meant that the 3 NBA-bound brothers were firmly on an NBA roster and, more importantly, were on contending NBA teams. And in case you've forgotten, both the Lakers and the Bucks emerged as among the top favored teams to reach the NBA Finals in 2020. Which also meant that if the Bucks and the Lakers somehow met in the finals, that would have been the first finals ever to boast 3 players from the same family. How insane would that have been? Though that didn't happen, the 3 were at least able to get together for 2 games during the regular season. The moment and the joy these 3 share each time they're on the floor is a reflection of how proud these young men are for each other, and the journeys they took to getting on a roster. It wasn't always easy. In fact, it was mostly a rocky road for Thanasis and Kostas. But it's wholesome moments like these that remind us just how far working hard towards your goals can take you. Seeing hard work from a distance is one thing, but seeing hard work up close is a completely different thing, especially if you happen to be the youngest sibling of 3 NBA players. Alex Antetokounmpo is in his early 20s and currently is on a very similar path that 2 of his older brothers took. After going undrafted in 2021, Alex elected to make the G League the next chapter of his still very young basketball career. Actually, Alex chose to play a year overseas in Europe following his high school campaign. He was a 3-star recruit still working his way up the ranks. But it's only a matter of time before some NBA GM gives Alex a chance to shine. I mean, the rest of them got a chance, so who's to say Alex won't either, right? But at least he's in town with 2 of his older brothers in Milwaukee playing for their G League team. And though there's only talk of him getting called up to the NBA for now, I think we can all admit that we're rooting for the Bucks to sign Alex and have an NBA roster with not 2, but 3 brothers on the same team. Guys, it can happen. Dear GM of the Bucks, please make it happen. There are roughly 450 roster spots in the NBA, out of millions of players who can only dream of making their way to an NBA roster. Only a few lucky players can make and sustain a spot on an NBA roster. For the Antetokounmpo family, the odds of any of them making the NBA after spending a large chunk of their lives in Greece were already little to none. If any family is lucky enough to have someone from their family enter the NBA, it'll be 1, maybe, just maybe 2. But 3? At the same time? And they've played in multiple NBA games together or against one another? And they've all won an NBA championship? It's almost entirely unheard of. And even better, the youngest brother could soon get an opportunity to be called up to the NBA to make it 4 brothers playing at once. Seeing a family full of hoopers achieving their dreams and making it to the NBA is a cool sight for any NBA fan. And just so happens that one of those brothers is an all-time great that could quite possibly place him as one of the 10 greatest players in history. But this family legacy is far from being written. Each of these guys has a long career ahead of them, and the younger ones are still working their way to reaching a level of success in the NBA. Now that's one seriously gifted family full of hoopers.